Hello there YouTube, this is Wheelchair21 and this is Transformers Thursdays, a bi-weekly Transformer review series. And on today's review, it is Generations Brainstorm. Yes, Brainstorm the Headmaster, which showed up in the last 3 episodes of G1, and then eventually was, technically one of the titular characters in Transformers the Headmasters with his other, Headmaster brethren from the Rebirth. And honestly, this new updated mold is pretty interesting because it has the transformation of a Legends meets a Deluxe in a Voyager body, and it works perfectly fine, especially due to the fact that this plane just looks pretty damn badass and kind of is a throwback to the X-Wing and its original G1 form and its IDW counterpart. Its twin-barrel rifle at the front, pretty awesome, pretty cool. Along with that, on its wings here, if I can fold them down, if I recall, have the Autobot logo on each wing. Now, as one can see, there's a clear cockpit which actually hosts his Headmaster. And honestly, I don't like to acknowledge really the names of the Headmasters due to the fact that in the anime Headmasters, they were just called the actual character that they were, which is kind of weird. I mean, I do like the idea that the Headmaster and the body are not one and the same, but at the same time it makes sense that they now have to be one and the same, but that's a whole conundrum in its own right. So once opening up your piece here and removing your little Headmaster, you have a Minicon, pretty much. And his arms can't really move due to the fact of how it's combined with the head, but, you got a static little robot here who can ride in the, cockpit of his plane mode, and looks pretty cool. As you can see in the back, there's his Autobot face. Now, in the comics, you can just take that panel off, and underneath is actually a Decepticon logo. So, spoiler alert for those of you who have not read far enough to know about the character change. Anyways, when transforming this character, all one needs to do is push this back, pull out its legs, flip out its arms, and plug in the head. Pretty damn simple, don't you think? Now, once putting your Brainstorm into robot form, the last thing you need to do is plug in the head and activate its stat feature, which was a feature that all Headmasters had. And when you open up the actual cockpit or windshield of your vehicle, depending on what Headmaster you had back in the day, it would show the cool little stat bar inside the chest, which would be speed, strength, and intelligence. And Brainstorm actually used to be smarter than this, but now they show that his speed is actually higher than his intellect, which is kind of interesting, but times change, especially the fact that he's now actually a Decepticon spy, set out to kill Optimus Prime back when he was Orion Pax through, time travel. Anyways, let's not get into the whole craziness of IDW Comics, just be glad that we got a Headmaster in the modern day. First off, I gotta say, the points of articulation are really good on this figure. Problem is his hips are really tight. The hip joints are probably the tightest joint you'll have on the actual toy. The knee joints are the second tightest. However, when it comes to your shoulders, they're really good, really loose, and as well as his elbows. Double jointed elbows too, so you got a good wide range of articulation. Wrist has some sway, especially since they have to store into the actual forearms here. And the pistols, they're a little bit loose due to the fact of, how the forearm and the guns are formed and when locking into each other. One of my biggest hates I have for it are, since the feet actually have a bit of a ankle swivel, it does get the figure a little lopsided at times, especially when trying to get it standing perfectly straight or perfectly still. That's probably one highlight I don't like about this toy. Even the head has a bit of articulation, because it's on a ball joint, which people tend to break, and that's because they're not careful with their figure. But, pretty good overall. I mean, this is one of the few Transformers where it's dumbed down, so 1, you can still have a nice articulated figure, 2, it can still have its Headmaster ability, and 3, it's not a pain in the ass, and possibly that hard for people to break, even though really it is, due to a manufacturing issue due to the cod piece that the head connects to. Honestly, I actually like it and cannot wait for future Headmaster releases. Will we get some? I don't know. I would like to see in the future Chrome Dome, Hardhead, and the fourth member of their group that was like their little Sentai team. I always forget which one he is. And then you got, Cerebros, their leader, which acts like, their Doggy Kruger, if you know SPD, or Deca Ranger, yada yada yada. But, I mean, it's great to have. I enjoy it. I hope a third-party company eventually comes out and makes a new Headmaster head with the replaceable faceplate to show that he's a Decepticon. I would really love that. I know people have made his briefcase on the third-party market and a few of his extra guns, but I forget who exactly those companies are. Nevertheless, I recommend getting Brainstorm. I think he's still for sale on the Hasbro Toy Shop, even now as I review this figure, so get it while supplies last. You won't, regret it. Especially if you have Headmasters on DVD, it gives you another incentive to want to get this figure. That's why I started getting the Function series from Fans Project, because originally I thought Headmasters were crap. Then you watch the actual anime, and you're just like, damn, Headmasters are cool. So, Brainstorm, get them while you still can. Get them because, this is a first in a long while, just like Combiners Wars has become. And nevertheless, you can check this video out here on my channel, Hero Otaku, maybe Gideon Blog Guru. You can subscribe to me here, follow me on Twitter and or Instagram. Nevertheless, we'll see you next time with another review.